This cake might seem impossible to make, but it's not, and I'll show you how to make it. Okay, to start, I've got half a cup of sugar and I'm just melting it down into a caramel. Once it looks like this, I'm going to be adding in half a cup of water and it's going to start to bubble up. Now that it's done, I'm going to add it into a pan, and using a spatula, I'm just going to scrape it up onto the sides of the pan. Next, I'm going to take 4 whole eggs. I'm going to add a can of condensed milk, and I'm also going to add in 30 ounces of milk. All right, adding our milk in there and using a whisk, I'm going to mix this together really, really well. So here we're actually making a pudding. So it's going to start to look like this when it's all incorporated together. Now that that step is done, I'm going to take our pudding and I'm going to very gently pour it onto our pan. So this caramel is actually already pretty cooled off. Caramel loses heat pretty fast, so this isn't going to mix together too much. All right, now that that is all poured on top, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start making our cake. Okay, so for our batter, we're going to use 2 eggs, put them in the bowl. I have half a cup of sugar. I've got half a cup of milk. We're also going to add 6 tablespoons of oil and 6 spoonfuls of chocolate. So this is 50% cocoa. Okay, now we're going to take our whisk and we're going to mix everything really well. You need to make this cake at home. It's so delicious. I guarantee you're going to impress people with this recipe. It's amazing and not that hard to make. Okay, now I'm going to be adding 1 cup of flour and 1 tablespoon of baking powder. Again, mix everything really well using your whisk. Just be patient, trust the process, continue stirring. All right, it's going to start to come together and look so chocolatey and delicious. This is, the ideal point of what we want this to look like. Okay, so now that we've got this all mixed together, I'm going to take this over to our pudding that we just added to our caramel, and gently using a spatula, I am going to very, very carefully put this on top. Be very careful and trust the process. I promise you, it is going to be delicious. The smell of the pudding with the chocolate is so yummy. Now I'm just taking aluminum foil here to cover everything. Aluminum foil is great for cooking and it prevents water from getting into our dough. Okay, so this is all covered here. Now I'm going to take this over and I'm going to add it into a larger pan. And I'm going to pour water about halfway up the pan. Okay, now that our water is added, we're going to bake this for 1.5 hours at 355 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, let's see what this looks like. Taking off our aluminum foil. Oh, look how beautiful this looks. I'm just using a skewer to make sure our cake is cooked and it's looking really good. Okay, now I'm going to take our cake and I'm going to put this in the fridge for 2 hours. It is really important that we let this cool down completely before we take it out of the pan. So now our cake has been cooled. And I'm going to use a plate to unmold our cake. I'm going to flip it over. This is such a fun part. Just be careful. And we're going to do the big reveal. Oh my goodness. Look how beautiful that is. We've got our pudding. We've got our caramel. We've got our chocolate cake. It is just such a gorgeous cake. And these flavors go together so well. Not to mention the different textures we've got going on here. All right, I'm going to cut into this and show you what it looks like, and we're going to give it a try. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait. Look at that. Look at the layers. It is such a gorgeous cake. I really hope you try this one at home.